how I was telling you about that Nicolas Cage marathon I did the other day?
Yeah.
The more I think about this one movie I watched, Vampire's Kiss, the one where Nick Cage thinks he's a vampire, I couldn't help but notice how his performance was influenced by German expressionist films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu. Because you know how in German expressionists, like, it's crazy overacting? In this film, it relies heavily on Cage's crazy overreacting and ridiculous body language to portray the underlying trauma of his character.
What?
No, just hold with me for a second. You know how in German expressionist film, it relies heavily on the balance and battle between light and dark and good and evil, and it's portrayed through the cinematography. Well, in this case, the world transcends the hyperreal by Cage's crazy overacting.
Okay, enough. Enough. I have something for you that I think will help.
The ideal representation of the present's outlook on past mysticism. Cage is unable to explain his ineptitude and his declining psyche, so he turns to the world of the uncanny and the overacted to give...
Okay. I have the cure.
What?
Here. Look. It's just as I suspected. You have nostalgia-itis.
Nostalgia what is?
All this essay speak, it's clear. You are having university withdrawal.
I miss it, man. I miss the classes. I miss the dining hall. I miss wandering through the halls at random hours. I miss the essays. What the hell's wrong with me, man? I miss the essays. Take me out of this essay craving writing hell.
Listen, this is Fangirl. This will cure you.
Okay. Fangirl is one of those special books that falls into the category of new adult fiction, which basically takes all of the tropes of teen fiction, but throws away all of the taboos, like drinking, sex, and smoking. These books are geared toward people of the university age. Protagonists are normally 19 to 25, and that's about the major differences between the two genres.
Fangirl is about a girl named Kath who writes Simon Snow fanfiction.
Simon Snow is a Harry Potter equivalent, you know, magical protagonists, 8 books, magical school, destiny, an arch nemesis endangering the entire magical world, etc., etc.
You're a wizard, Harry.
But she doesn't just mess around. She's well known for writing Carry On Simon, an alternate ending to the series.
She has fans dying all over the world for her updates, and her goal is to finish Carry On Simon before the author releases the 8th and final book to the series.
Kath has been writing fanfiction since she was a little girl, and she's always been helped by her sister Ren. She and her twin sister have been growing apart, though. Ren is very outgoing and very social, while Kath is painfully withdrawn and shy. They've been through a lot together, though. They've dealt with their parents' divorce, and they've both dealt with taking care of a manic-depressive father. But Ren suddenly really wants her space, and Kath can't really understand that.
She follows Ren to university, but she slowly has to learn how to grow and meet new people on her own, when her growth up to this point has been more or less emotionally stunted.
But as emotionally stunted as Kath is, she has a way of being very realistic about the university experience.
For most people, going to university is the first time they're on their own, and there's so many changes that you have to go through. Like, how do you meet new people? How do you navigate the cafeteria? How do you finish assignments without staying up the night before they're due, pulling an all-nighter?
Kath also has to deal with the dreaded roommate experience.
Living in a little tiny room with someone can either be really, really awesome, or it's like a Hunger Games experience. You either come out with a really, really great friendship, or a corpse.
Did we go to the same university?
College is really scary.
Kath lucks out with her roommate Regan and Regan's somewhat boyfriend Levy. Regan, when she finally gets to know Kath, is willing to show her the ropes and push her out of her comfort zone a little bit. But Kath doesn't quite know what to do with Levy.
Levy takes an interest in Kath, and she finds that she's starting to fall for him.
The one thing, though, that really drove me crazy about this writer's writing style is that she described Levy in snippets until I couldn't actually mash together a version of him in my head. She'd be like, oh, let's start with this detail where he has blonde hair, and then he's got thin lips a little bit later, and then he's got a receding hairline a little bit later than that, and then he's got a beaky nose, and then he's got a widow's peak, and funny ears. And then I just couldn't mash together a version of him in my head that didn't look like this.
Levy challenges Kath and wakes her up from her emotional cocoon of ultimate safetyness and boringness.
The real drama actually comes from Kath's relationship with her sister and her mother. Their estranged mother has finally got in touch after many, many years, and Ren wants to reconnect, but Kath wants nothing to do with their mother. They can't see eye to eye on this topic, and it drives a rift between them. And on top of that, Ren is a little bit of a stereotypical college girl who likes to get white girl wasted every weekend and is exploring her new #freedom.
She's not a one-dimensional character by any means, but she doesn't exactly destroy any stereotypes.
What's nice about this book is the realism. Rowell starts her relationships very naturally. Kath and Regan don't start out as friends, and when they do become friends, they're not the type that sits around gossiping and braiding each other's hair because really that's not the type of people they are.
Rowell hasn't forgot what it's like to be in university, and if you're recently going through the system or you've gone to university before, you can relate.
And she manages to hit on a couple of issues and not come out heavy-handed or preachy. In fact, she's even a little bit vague. A few plot arcs don't get resolved, like the mother issue.
And the mother is a giant bitch, by the way.
I see a strong, confident, beautiful young lady. Oh, look, you're here too.
She treats them in a way that you wouldn't treat a friend, let alone a daughter, and she has a lack of concern bordering on cruel.
In between the narrative, you get pieces of Simon Snow fiction. And Ralph feeds us Simon Snow instead of forcing it upon you. And it's actually really intriguing, and you wish it was a real book. What is it with books these days, making up books? First we had The Fault in Our Stars with the Imperial Affliction, and now we have this.
All in all, Fangirl was a refreshing read and one that brought up a lot of memories.
I think I've finally gotten over this whole nostalgia-itis thing.
Let's test it.
I want it! Give it to me!